What's up, everybody? Welcome back to ZK Adventure, which this one is part 53 of this really long and daunting series that doesn't seem to want to end because, yeah, issue after issue. As you can see here, this level already has a solution time, much as the next one, the following one, and the one after that, and the one after that. So the next 5 levels that I haven't played, well, I have played obviously, but you haven't seen me play, I've already played. And here's the reason why, or what happened, I should say. So I was recording about an hour ago of this set once again, and I was recording as normal. I got to about 29 minutes, and my computer decided to take yet another dump on me and freeze and just not respond. I did manage to save the recording file that was recorded, but for some reason only the audio saved and not the actual footage, which didn't mean no good at all. Despite the fact that the audio of the previous attempt was actually pretty solid, without the gameplay to back it up, the audio was pointless. So I had to get rid of it. And quite frankly, I am just not in the mood to delete the solution and replay a new one for you guys. Just because it's almost 4 in the morning now, I should honestly at least be laying down in bed, not sleeping, but at least in bed because my back is sore. But I really want to get something recorded tonight because I'm not going to be able to record tomorrow, and let alone probably won't even be inspired to record during the week. But whatever. I'm not going to replay all these levels. I'm just going to play back my solution, and you are going to enjoy what you see because these levels aren't that hard to replay. And I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, so apparently something happened there. I guess the whole Tower World 2 thing happened, and that is loud. Why is that so loud? My volume was normal. Maybe Tower World was loud. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, I guess the movement glitch happened, in which the Tower World just freezes while you move and makes you oof into the wall. And I guess I just didn't. It didn't register in my head to fix it. I don't know. Whatever. This level is basically all these blocks have chips under them. Some of them have items under them. Like that has the toggle button and stuff like that. There's a couple chips on the outside that you can get to by blowing up bombs or with certain items. I think there's fire boots under one of these. I don't know which one exactly. And I didn't really do this in any optimal way. And there's the red key. But just fast enough to get this level out of the way. Not that I really had any reason to. This level was actually kind of fun, but it didn't really hold any interest to me. It was just kind of like a level I wanted to have fun and play, and once it was over with, I just wanted to move on from it. It's basically what this level is. It's not bad at all. It's actually pretty interesting. Probably more so for an optimization challenge than anything else. But since I'm not really much of an optimizer these days, that doesn't really apply to me. So that's basically what this level is. There's really not much else to say about it. I think I lost track of where some chips were, but I quickly found them. And just went to the exit. So despite the fact that I wasted like 15, almost 20 seconds just oofing against the wall, I still got a pretty decent time. Not too bad. Anyway, next up is Loopholes. So this level is a little weird. Honestly, the most interesting part is this beginning section with this paramecia. Because there's a little trick you have to do to get to this bomb, because you need all the chips in this level. When I first initially played this level, that stumped me for the longest time. Like, I was convinced the chip was a red herring or the flippers were. But you absolutely need the flippers because of a water tile that's down here. And for ignore all the oofs, I must have shown something off while I was commentating the original recording. I honestly don't remember. But essentially this whole beginning half is a bunch of item swapping, which isn't really anything interesting. It's honestly a pretty boring level design trope that ZK4 has a lot of. I have nothing against item swapping myself. I think in some aspects it can be fun. In others it can be pretty tedious. But other than that, it's just pretty standard for levels to include item swapping sections. It's quick maths, apparently. I have no idea. But once you get these skates, you can go to the second half of the level, which is a little bit more interesting, but still has its quirks, for lack of a better word. All these blocks have chips under them. Well, not all of them, but some of them have chips under them, and they're in like a sideways V shape, which you don't really catch on to right away. I thankfully knew the pattern was there beforehand, thanks to the existence of level editors. And there's a hint up there. It's pretty long, but it basically just makes fun of the fact that you could have potentially messed up, or you could have potentially screwed yourself of collecting the chips if you didn't push the right blocks. But it also mentions that there is a pattern. And you just have to get the tooth monster down here to blow a bomb up, and you can go to the exit. Pretty simple, nothing complicated. It's just a little weird transition between the two halves of the level, in my opinion. And not a bad transition, but the paramecia part at the very start was the highlight. And here we have Frozen Acampo, which I could play myself, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to replay the solution. But while I replay the solution, I'll take this time to talk about some things that I talked about in the failed recording right at the very start. But since I'm replaying all these solutions, there's really nothing else to do. So this is just chip collection, by the way, with ice and a bomb scattered. Nothing too vastly interesting, but a nice little breather level, despite ZK4 being a pretty easy set, all things considered. Anyway, so I moved back home with my parents. I am no longer in that apartment that I was complaining about for months. I couldn't stay there no longer. I don't have the funds to stay there. I don't have the motivation to stay there. And I just had to get out of there. So I moved out. I moved back home. I am back in Acampo, which is not frozen, but it is pretty cold. especially more so in this room that I have again, because there's no AC or heat. I mean, I have a radiator, but I have to dig it out of all my stuff. And I'm too lazy for that, so let's just freeze to death. So because of this, I am able to record more frequently than I ever was at the apartment, which is a plus. Especially more so since I don't have a quote-unquote job. And I use quotes because I technically do have a job, but not what I was doing before. I don't work for Pepsi no more. I left Pizza Hut months ago. And right now I am just doing what is essentially Uber but with food, which is called door dashing. And it's honestly a lot more fun than a normal 9 to 5 job could be, or any job you physically have to go to and under a schedule of some kind or something like that. It's just it's a lot easier. Like I'm not under anyone. I don't have a boss. I choose when I want to work. I choose how long I want to work. And it's literally just driving to restaurants and picking up food for people that they order and dropping it off to them. That's as simple of a job as it gets. And I very rarely have to deal with stressful situations, which is also really helpful because I more so now than the past. But I've been developing pretty bad social anxiety lately, and I'm not sure what's causing that. It could be stress. It could be just life in general. I don't know, but there's a lot of things that are going on in my life right now that clearly aren't preventing me from recording videos. If anything, recording these actually takes my mind off them. So they'll probably be happening more often than ever, especially since I have the time to do so. But long story short, I don't have a normal job, and I am back at home in Acampo. So that's all fun and dandy and everything, and hopefully I can just get myself back on track with my finances and everything, so I don't have to have help from my parents and such, which it's not fun. It's killing me that I have to rely on their help, but there's nothing I can do. I got pretty screwed over living at that apartment, especially more so by my roommate, but it's not the first time in my life I've gotten screwed over by someone, so it is what it is. I just need to be a little bit more cautious with who I trust, which is a very, very small pool of people that I trust, and I can't stretch that enough. I trust my online friends more than I trust my real life friends. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's probably a good thing at this point. I think that was the biggest thing I had to talk about. Alright, I think that's the biggest thing I did talk about. Now about this level, a mouse in a maze. I'm torn. I like this level. I like the idea. It's a concept that a lot of people say is done a lot, but I personally have never really seen this concept be done as a full-on level like this. I think the problem with this one is pretty self-explanatory. The literal center of this maze structure that the teeth has to go through, you can't see yourself. So by the time the tooth monster gets into that section, you pretty much just have to wander around and hope the tooth monster gets through the maze in the direction you want it to go through. unless you have a map handy. But if you don't, you kind of have to wander around. There's nothing else you can do. And I think because of that, it kind of hinders this level. But it's still fun. Just, I don't know. I imagine a lot of people wouldn't really like this level for that reason. I myself don't really care. It's just something worth pointing out. And now about this level, Rubber. So this level, as you can probably already guess, is a pink ball dodging level with my favorite, quote unquote favorite, the pink ball dodging patterns that I detest against. If you've been around on my channel and watched multiple playthroughs of Chip's challenge sets I've done, you probably already know I'm not the biggest fan of levels that are set up like this. My eyes just don't adjust to it at all, and I don't think they ever will. I guess it's for some, like how some people complain about the MSCC tile set and how the water and ice look similar to each other. I guess you can say that's me, but with pink ball dodging levels like this. I'm not sure if that's an accurate comparison, but that's the best I can get in terms of tile set comparisons and stuff like that, and how hard it is for me to make out what goes where, or in what direction what a ball goes, especially when there's this many moving. It's just kind of hard to keep track. But this level I actually really like because it's small. And the dodging, it still manages to be pretty hard. But once you know the rhythm, it's not that bad. And the rhythm isn't even hard to really catch on to. It took me a few tries when I played through this. This double ball right there, though, that makes it harder, because once you get past that, you have to keep moving. The only safe spot you get is collecting this chip, and after that you have to make another dash for it. So it can be tricky, but once you get the rhythm of it, it actually becomes pretty solid. And I honestly wouldn't mind seeing that in like CCLP5 or something like that someday. I think it does a good job with this type of idea. I'm fairly certain that I'm not the only one out there that likes this game, that has trouble with these types of levels. And I'm thankful a level like this exists, because it's definitely good practice to get used to it. Like some of the harder stuff with this type of dodging, like it only gets worse by Tyler. The ball dodging section in Blob Lake by Rock, and there's probably at least 2 or 3 others that are around that I just don't know of or remember, but they exist and I don't like them. But this one I do. It's definitely fun. The size definitely helps. If it was any bigger, I'd probably hate it. But it was fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So now on to something that I also have played, but I didn't actually manage to solve because the computer decided to take a shit on me in the middle of playing it. And yeah. This is Earthquake, so I actually have to play the game now. I can't play back solutions. You enter the flood city of Troy, New York, and salvage whatever you can, which is a severely outdated joke. Troy, New York, I want to say was the city that Tyler went to college in. I don't even remember the name of the college, or not the name, but I don't even remember the acronym of the college. I think it was RPI. I'm pretty sure that's what it was, and the only reason why I would even remember it is because it's the same letters as Rest in Peace. which is commonly said still, even on the Discord chat, by several people. So this level is a destructive, like, it's sort of like Ravage. I know that this level was compared to that by someone. I don't know who exactly, but someone compared it to Ravaged, because this was in CSAIL before voting. And I don't actually remember the placement of this level. I think it was probably somewhere in the middle, if not the higher middle of the overall rankings. Because this wasn't even considered for the set, because it wasn't high rated enough to really look at. Even if it was, I still think Ravage would have been the pick. I'm probably biased for saying that, but I'm pretty sure others would agree that Ravage is more notable, or noticeable. This level is pretty fun, though. It has some pretty nice aesthetics. Despite not really focusing on them, it feels like they do, but it doesn't. This section, though, I don't really like, and this section was my reason to give this level. I think I gave it a 3 in voting, if I remember right. Mostly just because of that section. If that section was different, I would have given this a 4. But I don't think that would have even helped it get considered for the final set. Okay. Alright. So I have 4 more chips I need to grab, and I think I see the ones I need to get. So I can't get these guys, I can already tell. I can get that one, that one. Hold on. I can get that one by doing that. And then what? Oh, okay, that's it. Cool. I think I remember one attempt, I think it was the last one actually, where I somehow missed a chip in that section. I don't remember what I did differently, but whatever. Also, a chip behind a socket, that I like that. It's such a random thing. Like, it makes no sense. Like, you put a chip behind a socket, there's no point to it, because you need chips to open the socket, and you're not going to open sockets for more chips unless you're forced to collect them. but something like that, it makes no sense. I love it. I don't know, I'm weird. Anyway, this one is Water Park. And I already know I messed up, because you have to go down here first, which is a little unfair, but whatever. Not a big deal. This is essentially another type of collection level, where you go around and collect chips everywhere with random forest floors. And the theme is basically the forest floors and the water and gravel on water, because that's a really nice aesthetic. And my ear itched. That was poor timing for that to happen. And the simplicity of this is nice. Like, does this need to be a level? No, not really, but I enjoy the fact that it is. Like, it's simple, it's fun, It's nothing you really have to think about. It's just you just do it. And you know, levels like this are fun to play, I think. I know I'm probably in the minority with that, but I think levels like this are pretty underrated. Anyway, I need to go up through here. And I have 4 more chips to get. I don't know where they are, though. Oh, they're right there. Now, how do I get there? I guess through here? Yeah. Okay. And there is a hint down here that I will go to since I kind of have to. I don't have to, but I feel like I need to to read it. 7.8 out of water. 7.8 out of water. That's going to be a meme now. 7.8 out of 10. Too much water. Or in case of the meme, too much 10. Alright, shortcuts. So this one is pretty cool because the time limit, mostly because of the time limit. The goal is to get to the respective boot as fast as possible and collect the remaining chips with the boot, because if you don't get the boot, you're gonna have to keep going around to collect everything while avoiding the obstacles. And the time limit doesn't let you do that, so. And I'm pretty sure you need every chip, so. We already have half the level done, and not even half the time limit is gone. Yeah, this is all the level is. It's different. It's nothing exciting. But not every level has to be. Okay, last section. The fireboot paths seem to be pretty long loops. Not sure if that's supposed to be how it was, but it's like that. And even though the time limit is so much shorter than the amount of chips left, it's a pretty generous time limit by Zane standards. Swimming pool. So in case the last level wasn't enough, we have this level, which combines it with dodging, because that's fun. Okay. Alright. This actually doesn't look too bad. Except when you get clobbered like that. That sucks. Alright. There's a lot of gliders in this level. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Especially when you get trapped like that. Now this would be a level to have flippers on. That would be fun. But I am pretty convinced there are not flippers in this level. Oh, come on. Yeah. A little too chaotic for me to like. But it's alright. Like, yeah. Just gonna stay here. Okay, there we go. They're in a stable position now, finally. And they don't trap me either, though they might trap me later. That was a little too close for comfort. Are there extra chips in this? There probably are. Yeah, there are. Okay, well that would have been nice to know. I thought they were all required. I guess I could have determined that. All blocks contain traps underneath, except there's one that contains the exit underneath, but I'm not telling you which one. Ha. So, Observatory. Now this level, I gotta say, this is my kind of level. Like, this honestly seems like a level I would make. And I wouldn't be surprised if some people thought this was my level in CCLP4 voting. Because it just feels very me-ish, if that makes any sense. And I honestly don't know if there's actually an exit under the block. I think Zane might be trolling with that. If there is one under a block, I am 99.9% convinced it's this one right here. But yeah, this is all the level is. It's just chip collecting once again with really simple aesthetics, but really good ones in my opinion. Now, if the blocks were pushable, that would have been a tad more interesting, but that's not to say this level isn't. I mean, I guess to most people it wouldn't be, but I think this is pretty cool. Like, it's a pretty fun level. Alright, I still got 7 chips left, so I'm missing an entire section of this. Yep, I missed this section right here. Okay. And then the last 2 are right here. And there we go. So that is Observatory. Really, really cool level. You know, it's really nice to see other designers besides me and Jeffrey make something like this. Countryside. Okay, I have to play this level. I would have stopped here, but this level, I really like this one. Like, if I had to pick one ZK4 level to be in, say, CCLP5, I think this would be the level. I don't think there's anything under any of those blocks either. And my reason for this is because of the way this level flows. I don't know about anyone else, but I love the way this flows. So you have the first section, which involves a tooth monster opening up little rooms for it to proceed, which I think is pretty cool. It's like a simplified version of that one level that I don't know who made. I think Andrew Menzies. I forget the name of it. I think it's like Progression something. But it's like a simplified version of that. And then you have this little invisible wall maze, which is pretty cool. And then this section. So you have to guide this block, but there's appearing walls in random spots, which I have to admit, despite the interesting tile combination, I think water goes well with a lot of tiles, including invisible walls and appearing walls. But this might be pushing it just a tad. I still like it though. And you can easily just go around the level and go on, or not the level, but go around all these tiles to see which ones are actual walls. Which I have to assume was the intention behind this section, so I think that's all of them. So you guide this block through this little section, which I missed one, and I missed another one. Thankfully, even if I pushed it to the right, I still would have been fine. So no harm done. Oh, I missed another one. So there were still a few I missed, but nothing too drastic. And once you get the block through this, then you have to guide it through this thin wall section, which there's probably some shortcuts you can make in here in MS with flicking, but I'm just going to do it the way Zane intended. Because guiding blocks through thin wall mazes is underrated. But yeah, I love the way this level flows. It was like a lot of Zane's levels. This was one of them. I think like Wolves at the Door. This was another one I wanted to see in CSL before, like before voting even started or before submissions even opened. It was in voting, I want to say. I don't remember the ranking once again, but for some reason it didn't do that good, and it was probably because of that water section with the appearing walls. I can't speak for anyone, but that's my guess. But I don't know. I just love the way this level flowed. It was fun. There was, in my opinion, nothing really unfair about it, and just a really nice experience. Like, definitely a level I still would like to see this in an official set, but maybe that won't happen. I don't know. But I've gone on long enough, as much as I want to keep recording, because the last few levels were actually pretty cool. Particularly these two. Swimming pool. Now that I know there's extra chips, let me replay this, because I want to form a different opinion on this. I want to like this level. I didn't know there were extra chips in this. Now that I know, I want to replay it to see how it plays out, knowing there are extra chips. Like, will my opinion change? Will it be the same? I still think it can do with less gliders. Like, that's not going to change. I should probably do this on my own time, but you guys get a little extra treat today. Okay. I would have been fine. Okay, I played enough to form my second opinion. I like it. Um, I still think there are a tad too many gliders in there, but knowing that there are extra chips now and giving it mostly a second try, um, my opinion on it has changed a little bit. I do like it, not that much, but I like it enough to say I like it. So I think that's saying something. Anyway, I've gone on long enough. We will see you guys next time for Around the World, which we have roughly 20 levels left of this set, and hopefully we can finish this year. Like, that's my goal, and it's going to happen. I'm not going to go on to 2019 with this set still in my to-do list.